This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by super lightweight prospect Dalton Smith over Zoom. Dalton, first and foremost, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Andy. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Obviously, it's been, probably about a month or so since we last did our interview over Zoom. It
Yeah,
wasn't necessarily as hot, but I remember you was enjoying the weather back then. How have you found, your time off since?
it's not been too bad, just, I was chilling out. So obviously after the fight, I boxed in March. So I just chilled out, had a bit of downtime for a couple of weeks, and then, just staying active, really, keeping the brain active.
Obviously, going back into the gyms and that now for the last couple of weeks, we've been able to get the fighters back out there into the gyms. How have you found being able to actually, have not just sessions with your dad, but seeing the other fellas who train with yourself?
Yeah, it's just nice. I think most of all, it's just nice to get back into the routine, be in the gym with the lads, and, it's just nice to start getting back fit again and make sure we're not getting too fat.
Now, obviously, Dalton, you finally got some fight news to announce. You'll be on the first Matchroom Fight Camp show. Talk to me about that and exactly how Eddie put it to you that he wanted you to be on the first show.
Yeah, so they come back to us and says, oh, we'll try and get you on one of the fight camps, but we're only putting 50-50 fights on, and obviously it's only early on in my career, up to my sixth fight. So, I was originally meant to fight a kid from Manchester, but that fell through. And then Nathan Bennett called me out on Twitter, that was. So we got straight onto Eddie and was like, if everything's right, then we'll make that fight happen.
How do you feel, obviously, having it put to you that you have to have a 50-50 fight because there's obviously going to be only a few fights on the card because of restrictions. So everybody needs to effectively impress and needs to make sure the fans are going to be happy with what they see. Do you feel the pressure going into a fight where you're not actually exactly, as much of a favourite as you would have been in your previous fights?
Yeah, obviously, at the end of the day, I'm slowly settling into the pro game now, and you can't be fighting people and going 12-0 with a padded record and stuff. So it's about stepping up in the right time. And I think this next fight is I'm at a stage in my career where it's a good fight for me. And obviously the time now with fight camp and stuff, Eddie wants the 50-50 fights, and otherwise it's not going to make good TV. And you can see where Eddie's coming from with that. So when Nathan called me out, it was obviously on paper it's a 50-50 fight. So we said, look, it's my sixth fight. He's had 9-10 fights now, so let's get it on.
Talk to me about Nathan Dalton. What do you know about him?
To be honest, I've not even seen him fight. So I checked him out on BoxRec. Checked his record out. We spoke to my dad and my team. We made the fight happen, and then we went on YouTube, and all the fights have been took off now. They've took all the fights off. So I've got a rough idea how we fights, but I've boxed I've boxed every style there is out there in the amateurs, and obviously it's a totally different ball game, longer rounds now, but I've boxed every style there is out there, some of the best fighters. So it'll not be new to me. I'll get in there after the first round or so, I'll suss him out, and we go from there.
How key do you think, going back to your amateur days and the amateur experience you have, how key do you think that will be against Nathan, knowing that you can't exactly see the footage that you'd like to have seen on him? So when you are in the ring, you can kind of adapt to whatever he has to come and show and bring to you.
I think the difference with me and Nathan is I can adapt, and whatever game plan he set out is, I can change that, and I can counter attack on whatever he's going to do. So I think that's going to be the big difference. But after the first round, I'm a believer in styles make fights. So to be honest, I don't watch too. If I've got previous footage of my opponents, I only watch 1-2 rounds max. Just to see the style, out the way they fight. But I think after a round or so, I'll suss him out, and whatever his game plan is, I'll work that out.
Obviously, we know that it's going to be behind closed doors, and we know that you have to try to entertain the fans, as you've said. Eddie wants to put on these 50-50 shows. With all that in mind, how do you feel you'll cope with kind of a pressure of knowing this time round you need to deliver a performance that will please the crowd that watch from home?
Yeah, I think every fight you go in, you want to perform, so there's always pressure there. But I'm confident in myself. I always train hard, so I give it 100%. And when I get in there, I just let my obviously all the weeks of training and stuff. It's all for that one night. So if you can't get it right, then you can't get it right. But I'm confident in myself, and I'm feeling better than I ever have now, and I'm feeling in like the best shape ever. So I'm buzzing for it. I can't wait.
How do you think you'll kind of react to the settings on the night? Obviously, not having a live audience there. I don't exactly know the ins and outs of whether you can have commentators ringside and who's actually allowed to be in and around the fight ring. We've heard certain rumours and what have you, but nothing concrete as of yet. How do you think you will react on the night, though, being there in the back garden of Matchroom HQ?
To be honest, I'm taking it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We're never going to be able to do this again. So when I got offered the chance, I grabbed it with both hands. And to be honest, it's going to be a time where we can build his profile, because there's only 5 fights on. They're all 50-50 fights, and there's going to be a big audience watching on TV, because it's one of the first boxing shows to be back on live TV.
What's your knowledge then, Dalton, of how kind of fight week will play out? What has Eddie or what has the Matchroom team said to you about what to expect throughout the week? Usually you have your weigh-ins, your press conferences, and what have you. Have you had any talks about all of that?
To be honest, we've not heard anything yet, so we're just waiting for it all to be confirmed. Obviously, when they confirm the show and stuff. So we're all waiting back now, waiting to see what the process is. But I think it'll all be a well-organised situation, and I think it'll run smoothly.
There's been talks about the need for fighters to have to self-isolate and what have you for up to 48 hours before fights. How again do you feel like you'd cope with that, if that obviously seems to be the case, that you'd obviously be on your own, away from everyone, except for when you're going to your weigh-in?
Yeah, it's not going to be much difference really, because for fighters on fight week, they're mostly in their hotel anyway. You know what I mean? So when they're making weight and stuff, they're in the room chilling out, and then once you've weighed in, you sat about just relaxing anyway. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a big deal.
Obviously, if you win and you do so in impressive fashion, how do you think it does kind of set up the rest of this year? We still obviously don't know how shows will play out, but how big of a statement do you think it would be if you could impress an audience behind closed doors in what you see as obviously a 50-50 fight?
I think it's going to be massive. Obviously one of the first boxing shows to be back on TV, and if you perform, look well, your profile, like my profile, is just going to boost up. So it's still early days in my career, so things too much and start shouting, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, because you've got to learn your trade. You've got to be realistic, and just take everything at the right time. And I believe this next fight is it's a good stepping stone for me to showcase the level I'm at.
Dalton, just before you go, a quick words on a couple of your campmates, Charlie and Sonny Edwards. How have they both been getting on during camp since they've been able to get back into the gym?
Yeah, they've been in camp virtually full time now. So, we've all been training together on the track running, and hopefully they should be getting the fight dates pretty soon over with Frank Warren. So, they're looking fit. I think I watched them spar this morning. They both look fit now. So, they're going to be both flying for when the fight date comes. When
you say you watched them spar, was they sparring each other?
Yeah, they were sparring each other.
Who comes out on top when you see them sparring, Dalton?
I'm keeping my mouth shut. Ask them each for them. You can answer on that one.
Dalton, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Before I let you go, though, what would you like to say to everyone who tunes in to watch our interview?
Just keep an eye out for the announcement with Matchroom, and tune into the 1st of August on Fight Camp.
Dalton, it's been a pleasure once again to catch up with you during lockdown. Hopefully the time will come very soon where I can see you in person to do an interview. Until then, though, stay safe, mate, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you for speaking to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you.